if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know I've been playing an OD&D solo campaign. And though it's not the most viewed videos on my channel, that's fine with me. I'm enjoying playing it, and the people who are watching it seem to enjoy watching me play it. But as I'm playing it, I'm learning that playing solo can actually help you be better in your group game. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm Tristan. This is Heroes in Homebrew. So in no particular order, these aren't order of the most important or, the best reasons, but these are some things I've noticed as I've been playing my OD&D campaign. Now, my OD&D campaign is really the first time I've played an extended period of time solo. I have played a little bit, fiddled with things solo, but this is my first campaign that I've really done. I really enjoy it. I think there's a lot to be gained from playing a solo campaign. It helps you learn a system. If you're picking up a system for the first time and you're thinking about running it with your group, running a couple of sessions by yourself, just learning the mechanics, can really help you understand that system before you bring it to the table to play with other people, and it'll help you explain what the rules are when you play. Now, if you've been playing role-playing games for a long time, it becomes much easier to pick up a new system. There's going to be some sort of resolution mechanic, and it's just the way those mechanics interact with each other. By playing one or two sessions, you're just making a character or several characters of each different class, depending on what the system is like, and then taking that party out and doing something, whether or not you use a GM emulator like Mythic or you just use a simple mechanic like I do in my OD&D campaign where I just roll 2d6 for a yes-no answer, can really help you learn those mechanics and learn how combat works and learn all the sort of resolution mechanics that go along with it. Next, we have improvisation. I've found that my style of being a game master with my group is I like to improvise a lot. I don't like to plan things out. I have a vague idea of what's going to happen in each session ahead of time. I think about it. I don't write down plot points. I don't plan a whole story. I improvise a lot of it. I'll even, use a lot of random tables while we're playing to move things along. But I like to discover what's going to happen with my players. And I find playing solo works that muscle a lot, because you, as a solo player, you don't know what's going to happen. So you kind of have to improvise on the spot and decide what is going on and what the results of each interaction is. So that, along with, even if you're a DM that likes to plan things out, there's always going to be an element of improvisation where you have to think on your feet. And I find playing a solo game really helps work that muscle and exercise that muscle. Even if you're not playing a full campaign solo, you're playing like one session here, one session there, it works it and gets you better at it. Playing a solo campaign can help you build out that world that your table is going to play in. Even if you have just one player and you avoid all interactions, all encounters, all combat, and you're just using that one character to explore the map and find where things are. Maybe they find a town over here that wasn't there, or a dungeon there, or a swamp here. And that's, with my OD&D campaign, that's kind of what I've been doing. Every hex that the party goes into, I roll and see if they discover anything there. I've discovered a town that I hadn't planned on being there. I wanted it to be there for the party. I was really hoping they would find a town that would be close to where they were going, but it wasn't there originally. It appeared from the rolls. Same with a lot of the landmarks that the party in my solo campaign are coming up with. I've been rolling in the hexes and see if they discover anything. And doing that, even if you're doing it on a small area that your players are going to play in, you can all of a sudden you've got like dungeons here and weird forests there, and you're creating this world that your players are going to go out and play in. This might work a little bit better in an old school style game where they're doing a lot of hex crawling and exploration, and there's not like a narrative already planned out for them. But you can create this whole world without having to plan it out in advance, and you're discovering it as you go, and you're building the story of this world before you bring it to your table, and you're doing it in a fun way where instead of just sitting down and like plotting it all out, you're exploring it before your players get to it. Now, another interesting way you can use solo play is to play out your bad guy's plans. You can, if you have a big bad evil guy and you have a narrative planned out that you're playing through, on the side, outside of your group game, you can play out in a solo campaign the evil characters or the bad characters' ulterior motives. You can play out what he's going to do and have what he's doing a reaction to what happened in your group game. And you kind of can make this sort of two-way narrative that you know what's going on both sides, but your players only see one side of it. This is something I've thought about doing. I'm thinking about a second solo campaign that I might do. And I'm thinking about playing both sides of it. So I'll have my main characters, and then maybe I'll play something else on the side that is changing the world that the players or my main characters are running around in. And their actions will change what this other group is doing. Instead of just deciding, oh, well, this is what they're going to do in reaction, you can play it out. And maybe the evil guy's plans are not going to play out the way that you had decided was going to happen. And it kind of keeps it a little more realistic. Well, maybe not realistic, but a little more sort of free-flowing and improvisational. It creates this narrative that fits more into what's going on in the campaign, and you're not just reacting to the players and forcing things and kind of railroading the story without them seeing it. And the last point I have, at least works for me, is it helps me decide what tools I really need at the table. What I mean by that is it helps me decide what, say, random tables I'm going to be using a lot, or what, methods I'm going to use to create the battle maps. Because I play a lot online. Playing my solo campaign, not only does it let me learn the game, but it also lets me learn the tools that I'm going to be using. Whether I'm using Owlbear Rodeo, it's helping me learn Owlbear Rodeo so that when I play it with my group, I'm a little more proficient with that and I can move it along quicker. Because playing by myself, it doesn't really bother me how long things take to deal with. But playing with a group, you want things to move quicker. You don't want it to slog down and slow down while you figure something out. So playing in your solo campaign, you can put all the random tables that you use a lot together and make them easier to find. You don't have a superfluous amount of material that you're not going to get to. You'll know through playing your solo game, okay, I use this table of names a lot. I use this method of creating random encounters or this method of finding landmarks, etc. Once you know that, you'll get very proficient at finding them, and it'll move your table game a lot faster. So that's it, really. That's just some thoughts I had on solo roleplay. Personally, I'm getting very into my OD&D campaign. I'm really enjoying the aspect of solo role playing. It doesn't replace playing in a group. It's a very different dynamic, but it's also a lot of fun. It's I get to play it out the way I want to play it out. I'm not beholden to anyone's schedules. I can sit down and do it whenever I want, and it allows me to get in some fun gaming, some fun storytelling on my own. Now, I record it and I share it with all of you because some of you enjoy it, and right now I think I'm having a pretty fun campaign. Yes, I make mistakes with the rules and I screw things up, but ultimately it doesn't bother me. As long as I'm having fun, that's what's important, right? That's the same with your table. If everyone's having fun, then it doesn't matter if you screwed up the rules somewhere. As long as it's fun and it's fair and everyone's enjoying it, that's what matters. But playing this solo game, it is helping me become better as a referee, especially the old school style, whereas I come from, a newer editions of the game where I started playing 5th edition, now playing old school styles, playing a solo and playing my solo hex crawl sandbox game. I'm really creating that emergent narrative story that helps me learn and fuel this narrative story that I'm playing with my group. So yeah, I'd like to know in the comments what you guys think. Do you play solo games? Have you found that it helps you when you play in a group? Do all that YouTubey stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Save a seat for me at your table.